Hey, good morning, everybody. It's of Monday, the 14th of April, 2014. It is about 8:39 Pacific time in the morning. You know, folks. It's first of all, I'll let you know that there is going to be a DVD Blu-ray update coming, as well as a package opening video as well. I would have done another package opening video recently. I would have done it recently. In fact, there was another package opening video like I said, I would have done. I would have done this package opening video, except even though I got it on Friday, I was, tell you this, folks, I was asleep a lot on Friday. I mean, I was just tired. But point is, I did get a package from Amazon.com, and you'll see that in the DVD Blu-ray updates. But of course, there will be a package opening video and a DVD Blu-ray update that I just mentioned being filmed today as well. Well, and hopefully by the end of the day be uploaded. With that in mind, I will say this. This past week, I did finally, and I'm going to post this to Sean's, and there'll be like little videos here and there to kind of give him an indication. I did finally, for the first time in about 2 years, send Zaran Isaac, Sean McLean, a package, which he should be receiving according to CanadaPost.com, your Canadian Postal Service, your mailing service. Zaran Isaac should be getting by Wednesday. I don't know if Sean works that day or not, but whether he works or not, he should be getting it by Wednesday. If he does work, he'll probably get a notice. He can go get it. If he doesn't work, he'll probably get it delivered to him right then and there. So yeah, hopefully he'll enjoy what I sent him. And yes, there are a few Blu-rays, and some DVDs. But with that in mind, that's not basically what the focus of this vlog is. It's basically to talk a little bit about my job. It's been a very interesting work week, I will say that. A week ago, last Monday, I was working. I was getting ready to go to, well, actually, I was working, wasn't I? Was I? I gotta look at my schedule. Yeah, I was working, I know that. Yeah, I was working, and I was working I was working. Yeah, I was working, but I wasn't working at this time. No, I was working at 6:30. That's what I was doing. I was working at 6:30 is what I was doing at night to 11 p.m. And then the next day, which would be tomorrow, a week ago tomorrow, which is last Tuesday, I had to get up and work 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Yeah. And guess what? I did that without any sleep. Yeah. So I spent most of Wednesday relaxing. And then Thursday I worked for about 4.5 hours, 9 a.m. to 1:30. And then Friday, when I sent the package to Sean, I rested a little bit, came back, also got the packages. Oh, never mind, just checking something. But I got the packages from Amazon involving some of the movies I'll show you later. But point is, point is, I did a lot of work. In fact, I'll tell you this. Not this past Wednesday, but basically 2 weeks ago. A week ago this past Wednesday, follow with me on this. A week ago this past Wednesday is when I started doing 7 days in a row of work. Okay? And you might say, well, that's understandable. With any kind of job, sometimes you have to work that. Yeah, that is. It is understandable. But it's like, when you think about it, it's not really my store's fault. Hear me out. Apparently my store has been getting the schedules of all their employees and managers mixed up with another store's. Yeah. Apparently the corporation, the head honchos, if you will, that are in charge of the schedules and send them out to various stores to say, okay, human resource people, this is the schedule, you got to post online, or you got to post up there. Or basically, just let people know. Mainly what happened is apparently our schedules got mixed up with another store's. Now we don't know if that issue's been fixed or not. Because here's what's funny. Now this past Saturday I started my new work week. Okay? I started my new work week. I did 8 to 5. Got an hour lunch, so I did 8 to 5. Then yesterday I came in and I opened. Yeah, I was one of the very few people that opened the store 6 a.m. to 3. Yeah, there were some other people that helped open the store, but they're in other departments. I was the only cashier for about an hour. Yeah. And I was at the self-checkout area. And for anybody that works at a Walmart or works at a Target or a Kmart or even a Lucky's or wherever, and you have a self-checkout area and you have 4 little self-checkout registers and you have a main register in the middle, you cannot leave your area. Now, if you're working on a regular register, that's fine. You turn off your light, you work some zoning and all that, that's fine. And if you see customers, according to what I've been told, you tell them, hey, I'm open over on this register, come on down. Okay? So they come on down. Anyway, the point is this. I opened yesterday, and one of the first customers, I think it was maybe about 15, 20 minutes in, wants to have me check him out on register 13. Now again, if you work for any retail job, you know that sometimes you're going to have a certain register where people can only go to, well, you're going to have a certain register or two that certain people can go to buy tobacco and cigarettes or nicotine. And register 13 and register 12 in my job, in my store, are the only places you can go to. Well, apparently this guy wanted me to check him out there, and I said, I tried to explain to him as best I could. And you got to remember, this was early. But I tried to explain to the guy, sir, I can't move. I can't, I don't know what to do. Doing everything, and I figured, I tried to, and I couldn't think at the time, okay, how do I call my manager over here? I couldn't think at the time, because again, it's early. And then here's the thing, the customer gets pissed off, and he's like, okay, screw it, I'm just going to leave the stuff here, I'm done with the store, gone. And he leaves. And you could tell, and it's just my opinion, folks, you could tell that this individual had a smoking habit. Because why would you get so pissed off at the fact that you can't be checked out on a certain register that's not open for another half hour? Huh? That's like if somebody came in and said, hey, I need to go to customer service. Customer service doesn't open up until a certain time frame. Do people, no offense to anybody out there, do they not understand that? Huh? I mean, I can understand if maybe you're a 24-hour store. You're a 24-hour store, you got to have certain areas, if not all areas, still open. I get that, 24 hours. I worked at a 24-hour Walmart in Lawrence, Kansas. Even though I was an unloader, I understood that. Here, though, we're not 24 hours. We are literally, at this store, 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. Okay? We are a 16-hour store. That's what we are. Okay? We are a 16... No, wait a minute, 16... Well, no, we're an 18-hour store, about a 20-hour store. Near a 20-hour store. 18-hour store. That's what we are. Do people not understand that? Do people not understand that some Targets, some Kmart's, some Kohl's, some JCPenney's, God willing, they're still existing in a long time, some Macy's, some Mervyn's, whatever. Do they not understand that some of these stores are not 24 hours? That some of them are regular store hours? Do they understand that? Do they not understand that there are some Lucky's, some Safeways, some Food for Less, some Food Max? Do they not understand that? Apparently not. Apparently not. They don't understand. But, you think people would understand that. I mean, what do we have to do? What do stores have to do? And I'm not trying to say this and defend this act, and I'm not trying to say this as an employee. Well, actually I am. But what are stores supposed to do, huh? What are we supposed to do? Put a big old sign up and say, oh, by the way, Register 13 will not be open. Register 13 and customer service will not be open until about 7 o'clock. Do customers not understand that? Now, I know some of you might say, well, if that's the case, the store should just wait till 7 to open up. That way everything's ready. Yeah, and I can understand where you would be coming from with that. But it's like, okay. Sarah Nizarak, Sean, you worked at several places. You worked at Best Buys or Future Shops and all that. Have you ever experienced, and this is to you, Sean, and to anybody else listening, if working at a Future Shop in Canada, working at Best Buys and all that, have you ever experienced customers like that? Where they're like, oh, well, I wanted to be checked out here. Sir, I can't. It's like, again, you think people would, understand that. You think people would kind of respect the idea, oh, okay. And you could say, hey, I can help you out here. Oh, no, I want to be... if the guy would have just been honest and say, oh, well, I want to get cigarettes. I want to get a pack of cigarettes. If he would have been honest about that, I would have said, sure, no problem. I'll get you some cigarettes. Or I would have said, oh, well, sorry, sir, we can't sell cigarettes until 7 o'clock. If he would have understood that, that'd have been fine. Heck, I had a customer ask me to check him out over at the register area, the regular register on self-checkout, right? And this guy was more understanding. He explained to me his problem that he had with his vacuum. And he said, well, if I could come in at a certain time, and everything, will they be able to fix this? And I said, well, if you go to customer service, they'll be able to. And he asked what time it is, time are they open? I asked my CSM, and he said they open at 7. So I said, okay, fine. I told the guy, okay, you come back in at 7, they can fix that. And he said, okay, I'll go to church first. And you could tell people that go to church and people that don't go to church. No offense on some of that sometimes. And I'm not trying to say that's true for all people, but you kind of tell certain people that don't have a Christian background or religious background of some kind. And I'm not trying to say that out of disrespect, but you kind of tell the difference. But anyway, this guy that came afterwards says, okay, fine, I'm going to go to church, and I'm going to come back later, bring my vacuum, see what you can do. So there's a big difference there. It's almost like night and day there. And I'm like, come on, dude. Be serious. You know, I'm trying to help you out. Don't be pissed at me. Don't be pissed at my manager. Don't be pissed at my store just because you can't get what you want. Yeah, the customer comes first. Yeah, the customer is always right. But if you are positioned in an area where you cannot move from that area, you can't move. I mean, here's the thing. You cannot sign into another's register if you're signed into one already. And people don't seem to understand that. They don't. Anyway, to really escalate even more, apparently overnights over at the job are not doing their job right. Now, I'm sure this goes for any retail job out there. Like I said, Targets, Kmart's, other Walmarts, and I mean other Walmarts out there. Like I said, Target, Kmart's, Kohl's, and all that. I'm sure you all get people that do overnights, and when they have putbacks and they put them in the carts, instead of putting them back where they belong in the certain department areas, they leave them in the area that needs to be cleared at all times, and that's customer service. And I can tell you this, some of my CSMs, the CSM that was there from about 5 a.m., 5:30, and the CSM that came in around, I think, 6:30 or something like that, 7, and then the other CSM that come in, the third CSM, she comes in, she sees the second CSM that comes in, she sees this, she's like, what in the heck? She's like, what happened here? She has the first CSM, and he's like, that's just how it was. And again, you know, she's like, this is almost similar to Christmas. Similar, not there yet. And I told her, yeah, even though I was an unloader at the last Walmart I worked at, I said, I know what Christmas is like. I know that I basically told this CSM, I said, hey, I know what Christmas is like at Walmart. So she's like, oh, so you know already. She kind of joked around and said, oh, you know already. So, oh, yeah. And I'm like, we were a 24-hour store, so I know. Even though I was an unloader, I saw the ruckus, so yeah, I know. Believe me. But anyway, case in point. Basically, all of the putbacks in the carts were not put back. And like I said, the third CSM, she came in, she saw this, she took a picture of it because certain CSMs and managers have to take pictures of things to put them on record. And I'm sure my co-manager found out about that, heard about it too. And my co-manager, I don't know if she, because I was kind of pulling up my pants a little bit in the back. I don't know if she caught me by said something about naughty and all that. You know, she's a cool co-manager. She's a cool co-manager. And I don't know if she said something, she said naughty to me because I don't know if she caught me pulling up my pants or something like that. You know, just, going like that a little bit. Belt was on. I had my belt and everything was on. But pulling up my pants, I don't know if she caught me doing that or something. And she said, oh, no. I said, well, and I'm like, oh, what did I do something wrong? She said, oh, no. She said, oh, no, you just, she just pointed out the fact that I didn't notice something on the, I guess she was trying to cover up the fact maybe that she spotted that, but she covered it up by saying, oh, no, you need to pick up this area. Even if you're on break, you need to kind of pick up certain areas to make it safe for our customers. And I think maybe because we were doing a safety sweep at that time. I'm not sure. But anyway, she's a cool co-manager. She's cool. I like her. I really do. Everybody does, apparently. But anyway, she found out about it too. And then one of the overnight guys, obviously he has some no disrespect, no disrespect. Apparently this guy has a few issues, if you will, mentally. And he's kind of got like a hairdo that almost makes him look like he could be a white, kind of like has a white hairdo that kind of made him look like he could be out of a horror movie. One of those guys that is just, you don't have to make him a monster or anything, he's just a complete horror. No offense, Lord, no offense. Thank you for this job opportunity. But he asked me, why didn't I help the guy? And I tried to explain to him, and apparently, like I said, you could tell the guy has a few issues, like, oh, well, you shouldn't have, blah, blah, blah. And whatever. And I told myself, you know what, I prayed this morning, I prayed before I went, I prayed before I started, I'm not letting anything happen. And the day went smooth, for most of it. Most of the time it went smooth. I mean, even my CSM that was there from the beginning, he had to send me on break because he had to send me on break and then say, okay, I need you to come back to the same area because we have nobody. So he had to send me there. He had to send me to break. And I told him, well, if you need me to, I could stay on day 30. And he's like, well, Brian, you should have been on break about a few minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago. And he's a cool guy. I mean, he's kind of at times, he could be by the... Okay, here's the thing about this CSM. He's a cool individual. He's a fun guy. But he's more like a by-the-book guy. It's like, he's by the book. And like, if there's any big shots around and he's there, he's basically by the book and all that. He doesn't want nobody to get in trouble. So he's a cool individual. I understand that. He's a cool individual. I understand that. So... point is, I tried to tell him, I tried to suggest I could stay, and he said, oh, and I'm sure he appreciated that gesture of me wanting to stay maybe until somebody came in, and I said, well, who do we come in? And he said, not till 8:30, and he said, well, I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. He basically said, when he told me we didn't have people come in until around 8:30 or something like that, and I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, it's ridiculous, it's stupid. And this goes back to the fact that corporate is messing up on the scheduling. They are. I mean, here's the thing. You got corporate, basically the corporation, the head honchos, basically cutting down on hours of established people and even some cashiers. How do I know this? My schedule for the week after Easter came out, and I've gone now from 37, 31, 37, 32 and a half, 31, 33, to what I'm doing right now, to going to be doing 26 and a half. Go figure. But point is, the scheduling is not working out right. Well, at least it is. I guess it is working in their mind. I don't know. But they're messing up a lot. Because you would think the week before Easter, and especially the weekend of Easter, they would have a lot more worked out, a lot more scheduled out. But point is, they didn't. And even my CSMs have noticed that. And you know what? I don't blame them if it stresses them out. Because now I know why they kind of get the way they do, why they get a little stressed, why they sometimes accidentally, and even though they don't mean it, and they do apologize, why they kind of get stressed a little bit, and why, like I said, they don't mean to, and they do apologize for it later, take it out sometimes on their employees. Or kind of act like, ooh, just like, ooh, I don't want, ooh, kind of deal. It's because of the fact that corporate is not scheduling things right. They're not doing it right. And that needs to be fixed. Now, I don't know if maybe it's a corporate structure and they're thinking, well, maybe we'll teach this so-and-so store now that's in this part of Stanislaus County and all that. We'll teach this new store, hey, you want to be here, fine, you're going to suffer the consequences. But you know what? Maybe we'll help you out if you send people down to the Modesto and Turlock areas. Yeah, we can make more money there. People can waste their gas even more there. And it's like, if that's the case, Why doesn't someone from corporate come down and say, hey, you guys want your stuff fixed? Here's what you do. And it's like, it's ridiculous. But again, I appreciate Walmart and them giving me this job opportunity. I appreciate the corporation letting my store finally hire people like me back in February. I appreciate that. I'm thankful to that. I'm thankful to the Lord for that. But they need to get off the rear ends and start making corrections. They need to stop hurting the stores and hurting the corporate structure. I mean, here we are, a store that's been open for a little over a year and 3 months. You need to stop hurting it and helping it. You know? You need to stop hurting it and you need to start helping it. That's what you need to do. You don't need to mix up schedules for people from other stores. You don't need to do that. You need to fix it. I mean, look at our store. We are basically a store that is on the verge. I don't know if we're currently still on the verge, but we're a store that's on the verge of 90 days accident-free. I don't know if we are or not, but I believe we still are. Because we have this like little thermometer drawing in the back. Well, basically, the redder it gets, the more it shows how close we are to our achieving a goal. We hit that 90 days, we get tacos and jeans and sports, whatever. And maybe a movie, I don't know. But you need to get us back. But the thing is, we need to get back to that. We need to stay that course. And you think with us doing that, with us receiving 100% on OSA, which gets us a tri-tip party, if you will, tri-tip barbecue, if you will, this upcoming week, you would think the corporate structure would let the people in the region know, hey, this store is a good store, let's not mess them up. Now, I don't know if it's a change. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if there's a changing of the guard in Bentonville, Arkansas. I don't know if it's a changing of the guard, like someone's taking over certain areas. I don't know. But all I can say is this. I appreciate the job opportunity. I love working here. It's close to home. Walking-wise, it only takes me 15 minutes to go to work and come back. Bike-wise, it takes less than 6-7 minutes to go back and forth. I mean, at lunchtime, bike-wise, I could go, let's say, at 12 noon on lunch, let's say one of my lunches, which is going to be upcoming, is a 12 o'clock lunch. I could go from there back to here in the span of 7 minutes. No big deal. I could clock out and go. I could be back in 7 minutes. So I appreciate all that. The thing is, they need to get the rears in gear and stop screwing around with schedules. Get the schedules straightened out where people will have enough people in certain areas. I mean, look at me.